Are you thinking about making some improvements to your home but aren't sure which ones will get you your money back when you sell? Here with some great advice for us today is Monte Mohr from the Mohr Group. Monte, great to have you back.
Great to be back, Casey.
Always nice to see you, and you're going to answer some great questions for us
Really
today.
good questions. They're really pertinent questions.
That's right. The first one's Carl in Donaldson. He writes in and says, we're thinking of remodeling our kitchen before we put our home back on the market. The contractor says we will get the $20,000 of cost back out when we sell. We watch you all the time on Channel 4. Do you agree? A lot of people want to do this, remodel the kitchen.
It's a really common question. First of all, I don't recommend putting a lot of money in any home when you're about to sell it. It's really hard to recoup those dollars. And I understand why the contractor is saying you can get the money back. He's wanting to make a sale here. It depends on the sale, the price of the home, Casey, in all sincerity. If it's over $350, then you'll probably get the bulk of that back. But if it's under $200, don't do it. That's too big of an expense. Remember the term we learned a few months ago on pools, personal enjoyment, because that's what you'd have to look at. But don't do that just to sell the house unless it's over $350.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, next question is Sarah from Nashville. She says, my husband is finishing off our basement and adding a bedroom, bathroom, and living area. This will double the size of our home. Will it double the value that we can expect to get when we sell? What should they expect? That's
a great question, and you know it makes sense, but basement, remember this, basement square footage is only considered about 40 cents on the dollar for compared to above ground square footage.
Oh, really?
Okay? And if they are finishing that basement, remember it's always got to average at least 7 feet high. Okay. The bedroom's got to have a window for safety, and it's got to have a closet to count it technically. Okay. But just remember that you're not going to double the value. You're going to certainly increase the value because of the square footage, but you do not get equal value per that square footage in a basement.
All right, good things to think about before you go ahead and add on. Okay, Philip and Cheryl from Franklin say, we're thinking of adding a sunroom to the back of our home. Can we include the square footage in the total square footage of our home when we sell? And can we expect to get our money back for this kind of improvement?
Well, that's again a great question, and I don't think you can get your money back out of that kind of an investment, to be honest. I do think that you'll get an increase because you can count the square footage as long as it's heated and air conditioned and everything else that I talked about. But again, it's that term personal enjoyment. You've got to be able to embrace that because it certainly does add a great dimension to your home, but you're not necessarily going to get that investment back.
Now, speaking of, adding onto your house, we've got a question about landscaping. The next one is Sandy from Lebanon. She says, we just spent over $10,000 on our landscaping because my brother-in-law said it will help our home sell. We've been watching you for years on Channel 4. Do you agree that this will help? Curb appeal? Is this going to help?
Well, it is. Sandy, it's going to help the home sell, but $10,000 I probably wouldn't have spent. Again, you're not going to get those dollars back, but absolutely it'll help the home sell. It's one of those things that adds sellability but doesn't add value. If somebody's looking at two different homes, another home similar to yours, they're probably going to choose yours because of that improvement. But you're not going to get that $10,000 back, I'm sorry.
All right, that's a lot of money to spend on landscaping.
It is, it is.
Now, Sandy wrote in another question, so we'll get to that. This is, what kind of improvements can actually help a home sell? Good question.
Well, we've covered this in the past where, I don't recommend going beyond decluttering and lightening and brightening and freshening home up that way, improve the curb appeal. When it comes down to additional improvements, probably paint is probably the next best thing, Casey. A neutralizing fresh paint job. The next thing would be flooring. Flooring always improves the appearance of a home. But if you're spending over $150,000, $200,000, if that's the level of home you have, do not put that laminate in. Laminate's become very, very popular, but it's not as popular from the consumer standpoint, the buyer standpoint, as just basic carpet would be.
Okay,
so be careful of the laminate.
Paint and flooring freshens it up.
Yes,
good to know. All right, happy customer of the week.
We've got a great customer. I love these people. They're Channel 4 viewers. They saw me on Channel 4 a while back. They, like so many of us baby boomers, Casey, I know you can't relate to this, but we're tired of climbing stairs, and they wanted to get rid of their two-story home. They called me up. Within a week, we got 98% of the asking price of their home, and they saved $8,800 with my We Sell Homes for Free program.
Wow, great savings. Thumbs up to
them. They are
them.
one happy couple.
They look
awesome
like
couple.
it. Thank you so much, Monte. Hey, if you need help buying or selling your home, call the Mohr Group at 615-376-4500, or you can reach Monte directly. Give him a call at 615-300-8393. We also have a link to the website, WeSellHomesForFree.com. It's on the More at Midday section of WSMV.com.